Niggas is listening to Young Thug.
I didn't know. I was going to say, what did he say earlier that you were telling me?
Oh, man. He said, damn, I forget his exact quote, but basically he said, Baltimore needs to riot and burn that bitch down.
That should probably be the title for this podcast, for this episode. Oh, man.
And this is the same man who said when the cops come, he puts the crack in his crack. you talking about riot and burn this bitch down. At least here, they picking shit up and throwing it at the cops. Why don't you throw it at the cops to do something? You talking about riot and burn this bitch down, but you up here, boasting on records about, putting drugs in your rectum.
Yeah, and I'm assuming, knowing Baltimore and their infatuation with Lil Boosie, I'm assuming that Young Thug is starting to gain that type of influence amongst young Baltimoreans.
I don't even know.
Well, Lil Boosie was on his album, so it's never these things.
So they're going to check for it, yeah. I don't know, man, because, I don't know. You really can't understand what Young Thug is saying. I think he's one of them dudes who, is going to be good for a feature, but people aren't really going to check for him like that when it comes to music. And I guess he's kind of, I don't know. I feel like he's going to end up being like a South version of French Montana.
Who, Young Thug?
Yeah. Because, if you notice, people call French Montana in for hooks and features, and that's about it. Ain't nobody really checking for, I'm talking about general population, they're not really checking for a whole project from French Montana.
Because his last album, it's horrible.
Yeah, and they're not even checking for a whole song from French Montana. But they'll listen to him on a hook and maybe a feature. And that's kind of like Young Thug. Young Thug, I don't know, to me, a full song with 3 16-bar verses and 8-bar hooks of Young Thug, if the beat isn't some type of cinematic or orchestral masterpiece, then it's like, what is this?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it seems like I'm one of the few people that really kind of see full potential in Young Thug if he can just get his shit together to a certain extent.
Yeah, maybe his career will take the trajectory of a Lil Wayne to where Wayne didn't get really. He didn't really start popping like that until his 4th album.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's a bit different though because people knew who he was because he was on Back That Ass Up and Around the Bling Bling.
Yeah.
In the video, so I think it's a bit different with him compared to because he came from an institution and Young Thug essentially just comes from Baby.
Well, he has all them Gucci Man mixtapes.
Yeah, but Gucci Man is obviously right now he's really catering to the Gucci Man crowd, and it's something he has to try to get out of. We've seen how they try to commercialize Gucci Man, and it really didn't work like that. Remember when he was on the remix of that Mariah Carey song 4 or 5 years ago? And it was terrible. He's too unruly to be on a song with Mariah Carey. Now, you can argue the same thing with ODB, but it kind of just worked for him. No, that was Maya, right? I think.
No, that was Mariah Carey.
Well, yeah. So, I don't know.
I guess it's funny because you talk about how Young Thug is catering to the Gucci Mane crowd. It makes me think of how, you know, early on, Nicki Minaj was with Gucci Mane and them, and she definitely catered to the Gucci Mane crowd. And then she had to break out of that in order to, you know, increase her status. And another person is Waka Flocka. He doesn't really cater to the Gucci Mane crowd. I mean, he still throws them a little mixtape here and there, but he's even moved on from the Gucci Mane crowd.
I mean, but see, what is he, like, I don't understand, like, what he's really doing right now.
Who, Waka?
Yeah.
He's running for president. He's doing some EDM type stuff. He drops his little hood mixtapes here and there, but you know, he's becoming, you know, a real star, I think. And it's interesting to see him now versus, you know, before, like just in interviews. You know, he's a lot better in interviews. He can express himself better verbally. He seems happier and, you know, really clear-headed and knows what he's doing and got his stuff together.
So essentially, he's kind of taking the flow rider route, you know, in a sense.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more hood with it though, from what I can tell. But
yeah, I know he still comes out with those Waka Flocka Myers things and whatnot.
Yeah, I think he just dropped "Salute Me and Shoot Me 5."
And I'm assuming people will still listen to him.
Yeah, I mean, and Flockavelli 2 is supposed to come out. You know, I'm excited for that.
I'll show you. You like the first one, right?
That was a classic.
No. I don't know. I mean, I think if I had to guess, I would say I like Gucci Mane better.
I mean, I don't know. I just remember, you know, Gucci Mane when he first came out with that So Icy shit, and I downloaded that album, and we used to just sit around and laugh at it. Cause like he was so offbeat and it was just so horrendous. And back then I never would have thought that Gucci Mane would even be a thought right now.
I mean, yeah, it's something about him. I mean, but then, you know, we say that, but then when The State versus Radrick Davis came out, you're the one who emailed me the first track off of it.
Yeah, I mean that album just set a tone, like, I mean, you have, like, a choir singing, Gucci, Gucci Mane, like.
I wonder who, like, I guess that was probably Zaytoven that set all that shit up.
Maybe, I don't know, but, like, that, if Gucci Mane would have kept going from there, you know, it would have been crazy. I think he did get, like, locked up or something right after that.
Yeah, he did. I mean, because, his flow was on point, and then that was kind of like I guess you can kind of say, I guess maybe it was somewhat of a complicated beat for his type of style.
Yeah.
And he was on point.
Of course, that album also had the Lemon Pepper Wings joint.
Now, was Lemonade on that song? Was on that album too?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Lemonade.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think that, because I keep saying, like, I think that that song could have done way more than what it did. I mean, like, even break through, like, into the top 40. But then now, I can't say that because it was too black. Because like thinking about it now, like, it just has so much bass that of course my black guys will like it, right? But yeah, white people, like, they can't listen to that. That's too much for them.
Yeah, Lemon Pepper Wings and a freeze cut. And, you know, a lot of times when white people, you know, they have to listen to artists who are clear. You know, like, you can really kind of understand what they're saying. And, you know, sometimes, you know, like Gucci Mane talking about, you know, lemon pepper wings in a cheese cup or a freeze cup. And, you know, like, you really have to know what he's talking about sometimes kind of get it. But yeah, hear that song Stupid Wild with Lil Wayne and Cameron on there. I'm just looking through the track list now. He had Bingo, Waka Flocka, Soulja Boy. I remember that song. He had a joint with Usher, Keisha Cole, Bobby Valentino. So, I don't know. That was a pretty good album from Young Gucci. Unfortunately, it foreshadowed what was to come, which is much jail time.
Yeah. I'm sure. He can probably do a little Boosie.
Yeah, it's possible. But he's come out with so much material just, while being locked up. I'm just looking through right now, like, his last 3 projects, Breakfast, Lunch, and Dinner, they're all on Spotify.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy because I'm just looking at them now. It's like the artwork for Dinner and Lunch are kind of like artsy looking, but then the artwork for Breakfast just looks like a mixtape, and he's sitting there eating pancakes with the fork in one hand and a handful of money in the other hand.
Yeah, I remember that.
His mouth is all open, and then instead of IHOP, it says IWOP.
No, maybe it's Breakfast or the one before that, the one that has the opening track from Young Thug.
Yeah, they don't have any features on here. It might have been the other one that came out, Dessert.
Well, I know it came out last year.
Oh, okay. These joints all came out this year. Because remember, Breakfast, Lunch, and Dinner came out on one day, and then the next week, Dessert came out.
But that's the thing with me and Young Thug is that I think the best way to put it is how what's his name, Kool Herc, and how he put Lil Wayne in his top 5 MCs, and he went wide. And he said that, essentially he's hip-hop because, people, back in the original hip-hoppers, for lack of a better term, MCs, they would have clever rhymes in the same fashion of Lil Wayne's. And I see with Young Thug, you can kind of see a continuation of Lil Wayne and I guess like this overall trap type of street rapper, but he brings a different type of style to the table when it comes to how he rhymes and his wordplay. Because he puts the crack in his crack. Yeah, it's very questionable, but he says he puts things in an interesting way that a lot of people, and especially he's younger than me. He puts things in a different way, a more interesting way, I would say.
Yeah, he does put things in an interesting way, and it's funny that you say that because I just pulled up his exact quote about everything happening in Baltimore, and he said, "War, rage, chaos. It's the only thing needed in Baltimore right now. I wish I was from there. Better yet, I wish I was there. I would go 7:30 with everybody out there, I promise. Fuck the cops. Black Lives Matter. Pray for my people."
No, I don't know. Yeah, he says Black Lives Matter, but he puts the crack in his crack. Oh man. So I'm not exactly condoning what he raps about, of course, but that, and like even on the intro to that Gucci Man mixtape or whatever it was, he says something that he says something like he's not a Russian, but he be Russian.
I remember that.
It's really simple, but I haven't really heard anyone really say that before exactly.
Yeah,
At least not. Maybe he. I think he puts clever ways of saying things into a trappish style, which I can actually kind of appreciate to a certain extent.
That's true.
And then he has that personality, you know. He kind of takes from, I guess, the Future and his way of doing auto-tune, but yet he has, like, you know, rhymes, things to say. So I'm just waiting for his actual album to come out.
I don't know. I don't think it's really going to be anything special. I mean, when it comes to having things to say, I think Future has a lot more than Young Thug.
Well, I will say that Future is much more varied, you know, when it comes to his styles, of course. But it seems like he has yet to capitalize off of them.
I mean, I think I didn't really listen to a second album like that, but I think it's widely looked at as kind of a disappointment. But you know, he's dropped a bunch of mixtapes since then that I've been meaning to listen to that has been getting pretty good reviews. So I don't know, like Future, you know, he comes from that Dungeon Family type of talent and work ethic. You know, I guess that's his lineage in hip hop. And, you know, I think he's a pretty smart dude and he knows what he's doing musically and, you know, with words. And I don't know, with somebody like a Future, you know, you can tell he put, like, on those tracks, it's all him. Like, he's producing those records. I guess maybe it is kind of the same with Young Thug because he kind of blends into a track really well. And he's kind of developed his style to fit that, but I don't know.
I mean, you know, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, you know, I feel like he's a bit of a gimmick, and the gimmick is getting played out, and it's not going to last if he doesn't start bringing any more substance.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's like I see what you're saying, but I think the wordplay kind of takes clouds his gimmick that he's going for right now. But like when it comes to Future, like I really thought the second album was going to be something based on you know, Karate Chop and what's it called, nigga? No, shit. Yeah, shit. And I kind of see, like, as right now, like, everything Young Thug is kind of that he's kind of done, maybe outside mixtapes that have been on radio, it's kind of a culmination of what Future did on Shit. Because it seems that everything that Young Thug is regurgitating, it all comes from Shit. Literally.
I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like, the thing about these artists is that you have a certain, like, yo, who is Young Thug? Where does he come from? Like, what does he do, for real? Like, even when you look at Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan, I can see Rich Homie Quan having more longevity in the game.
Oh, man.
And I probably wouldn't have said that a couple months ago, but, you know, he just dropped the mixtape the other day, and it was trending on United States Twitter for a while. And, you know, he just seems like he got his mind right and is working right and is about positivity. And, man, he does his thing on them hooks, man.
I mean, yeah. So he can be like another Nate Dogg or something like that. But I mean, 'cause it kind of seems like, in a way, if I had to say, he can kind of fashion himself like as a new Young Jeezy or something like that.
Yeah, he could. I mean, he could fashion himself as a new Young Jeezy, or he could, I mean, he could be like a Southern Meek Mill for real.
Yeah, maybe, but I will see. But I think,
like, he just has to keep dropping hits and keep developing his style so that it's a style that can't really be mimicked by anybody else without people saying that you're copying. And, you know, just really take it from that young street type of perspective and with his own sound and all that.
Well, the thing about Young Thug to me is that I think that I think Young Thug kind of, in so many words, is his own person because, you know, like I said in the unreleased episode, that's the one that's in the can, you know, it's, he brings the street, he's like kind of like the first street person with like this real, obviously he's kind of like sexually ambiguous in some type of weird way. So you have that, but then also his wordplay and his way with words. And so I think if he can just really hone them, he can kind of be his own person, although we do know that he's based on like a Lil Wayne. But not so much to the point that you're going to be like, oh my God, he's taking Lil Wayne shit. Because he does his own stuff. I mean, because the way he rhymes, Lil Wayne doesn't rhyme like that.
That's true. And I think that, you know, from his earlier stuff to now, he has come into his own sound a little bit more. Because, yeah, he doesn't rap like Lil Wayne to where before he used to a little bit more. His voice sounded a lot more similar. And it's like, I think some of that mumble mouth stuff that he does, I guess, is part of his style now, too. But I don't know. It's like how I feel like at the same time he's still skating. And he gotta come with that shit if you're gonna make it. Like, cause like when you think of Young Thug, you think of a Young Thug solo record. You know, the only one that I can mention off the top of my head is Stoner.
Is that lifestyle or is that something different?
I'm a stoner.
Oh, I'm not thinking about lifestyle. My lifestyle.
Oh, God, I hate that song so much.
That's the only one I know.
Rich Thing, isn't it?
Oh, maybe. Well, see, I told you earlier, I don't even know Young Thug song for real.
See, that's my point. Only two, like, so, and then the other song I was going to mention, Pass Me the Hookah, I think that's a Tiger song. He's on a new song now with Ray Shremmerd and Nicki Minaj, but, you know, that's that song. That one joint he did with T.I. about All About the Money. There's a joint he did with Freddie Gibbs and A$AP Ferg. There's a joint that he had with Nipsey Hussle that's hard as I don't know what. But like, besides that, it's very hard to come up with a Young Thug song with him by himself that is memorable. Where, you know, look at a Rich Homie Quan. I mean, yo, feel some type of way, man. That's a Negro spiritual right there.
Yeah. Yeah, which is an episode we got to get into sooner or later.
Yeah, the Negro spirituals. But, I mean, you remember when we were in the spot and that song came on and how the whole energy of the room just changed. Like,
oh, where were we?
We were in, I guess you would call it paparazzi now, before the Mobb Deep concert.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And you were like, man, this is not the music that should be playing before Mobb Deep comes on.
Yeah, it was rather disturbing, but I mean, hey, they had Juicy J and Bun B on their latest album, so.
Yeah, they did. Man, I was just thinking about that earlier. I need to revisit that and listen to it again. I don't know if I listened to the whole thing like in depth.
I listened to most of it for the most part last night actually, and it's not really a bad album.
I like what I heard.
Yeah, I mean, really, essentially, it just sounds like a Mobb Deep album with like more updated beats. It don't really sound as 90s-ish, but it still has like that Mobb Deep flair. And even like the unreleased tracks from the Infamous, like they're hard as shit. they're like, I mean, they could have, I don't know, came out with the Infamous 2 or something.
I'm sure they're working on it.
Oh, man.
I mean, I guess they did come out with Infamy. I guess that's the way to skate, like how Nas, he did Illmatic, then he did Stillmatic, but it's not looked at as harshly as, like, you know, somebody would look at a Cuban Links 2 or something like that.
Yeah, I was looking at the folder to Fila, saying I gotta listen to it.
Hey man, I like it.
All the way through, or?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, you know, some songs are kind of like there's no song that's really whack to me. It's songs that, you know, I might skip, but you know, it's just because they don't really catch my ear, or I have another song that's, you know, probably more favored. Like,
okay, well,
even the singly type of joints, like the joint that he did Melanie Fiona and Assassin that came out. I like that joint, but Assassin, he just goes off on that. I like Assassin on hip hop records, man.
So it seems like you're essentially like describing the album to something of a Alex Diamond story.
Yeah. Cause I did like Lex Diamond's story a lot too.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really a bad album.
Yeah, it got slept on. I think maybe Lex Diamond had more memorable moments on it than this one does, but it also had a lot more tracks.
Yes, I think that's the main thing about the Lex Diamond story. Just had too much, too many tracks, and that single he had was kind of corny to me. With the video.
I'm trying to remember which one that was. Ice Cream Part 2?
Oh, I forgot about that one. Oh,
that was
shit.
whack.
No,
I'm not gonna say it was whack, but it didn't fit. Like, how do you go from Ice Cream Part 1 to Ice Cream Part 2? Like,
no, it was the one with the girl singing. He's talking about the hood or whatever like that.
That sounds like so many songs. Well, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's a very good point. And it's called The Hood with
it is called The Hood.
Villa Real.
Oh man.
Yeah, and he's like, you know, the hood, spell it backwards. Backwards it says duh. That's what they're yelling in vain. Yeah, I'm like, alright, dude. He sounded pretty disconnected. He sounded like a rich black man when he said that shit.
Hey, a rich black.
Matter of fact, yeah, he has Rich and Black on not the P-Live, the one before that,
yeah, that was on Shaolin versus Wu-Tang.
Yeah, the one that had Nas on it.
Yeah, that's my song.
I mean, that wasn't really a bad album either.
Yeah, and like even with that theme on this song, here's a joint with A$AP Rocky, and I can't front, man. That song is hard. Like even on my brokest day, I can listen to that song and just be singing, I got money, na 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 na, I got money. It's a bunch of kids on the hook. I got money, na 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 na. Like, and like the type of beat it is, and it's funny because I was watching Raekwon on the Breakfast Club earlier, and Angela Yee was like, you know, it's funny how whenever, a Wu-Tang person comes on, she starts using Wu-Tang lingo, and I guess going back to her days of being an intern or assistant or whatever. And she was like, yeah, it's like, you brought A$AP Rocky into your chamber and got him on the type of beat that you would rap on.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, he gave, one of his typical Raekwon type of answers.
Oh, of course. I don't know. I mean, you know, even like going back to Shaolin versus Wu-Tang, that really wasn't exactly a bad album either. And he kind of did it. I think he's like the only Wu-Tang person to actually kind of like, you know, roll out an album like the way that we all hope a Wu-Tang album, like a Wu-Tang solo album, should be rolled out. That at least the first single you have should be a Wu-Tang song. And so what the first one was Butter Knives, the one that Bronze Nazareth made. Yeah. And he's killing the beat, and based off of that, I guess probably still riding the wave off of the second Cuban Links. You know, he sold like 40,000 his first week or something, or 30,000.
Something like that. He did pretty good, but I think the reason why he's able to do that is because he's completely independent. And he said, you know, he likes doing things his way, and it would take a lot of money for him to, you know, go back to dealing with a major. So, but yeah, Shaolin versus Wu-Tang was a good album. I'm still kind of bugged out how you like that more than you like Only Built for Cuban Links 2, though.
Because the album was all over the place, and you know he ended it with like the final 3 Dr. Dre songs, like Catalina, just because they were Dr. Dre songs.
You know what's crazy is I heard one of those Dr. Dre songs on the radio a bunch of times. I think it had a remix with Game.
I think it was Catalina.
Yeah, Catalina. I mean, I don't know. I think that was a very cohesive type of sounding album, more so than I mean, you know, I like Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang, but I still think that Cuban Links 2 was a little bit more cohesive. I feel like he was trying to make a Wu-Tang album with Shaolin versus Wu-Tang.
Well, and obviously, I think that's the issue with all these Wu-Tang people. They try to get out of that, but it doesn't really work. It doesn't work for them. Only with Ghostface, for the most part, it works for him. And I guess RZA, because you know, I went back and listened to Digisnacks months ago, and you know, I don't exactly like it all the way through. But I think it's always like the same thing with every RZA album you come across. It's not the hardest thing you've ever listened to in the world, but it's like really interesting. And you can tell that 9 times out of 10 he was high as shit.
I mean, if you would say it's a piece of art, and you come back to it, you know, God, you come back to it, you know, 20 years later, and you come at it from a new perspective, God, you know, that's what he would say. And you appreciate it being older, you know, and you kind of understand some of the things that I was saying.
Well, I mean, it's very true. Thinking, man, like, Birth of a Prince came out in 2003.
Damn.
That's an old-ass album. I never realized that the Lex Diamond Story and Birth of a Prince came out the same year.
They did.
And then it took Raekwon 6 years to come out with Only Built for Cuban Links 2. God damn.
Years.
Yeah, 2003. 2009.
2009?
Yeah.
Damn, it's an old-ass album, too.
What are we doing with our lives? God damn. I mean, and it's Lex Diamond's story is so old that he has Capone on it.
Who he later signed and dropped, you know, Lone Noriega, and they dropped the War Report too.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Damn, man, he had a song. I forgot. Oh, that's right, Planet of the Apes with Capone, Sheik Luch, and some guy named Polite. And
I think I remember seeing Polite pop up on various tracks throughout the years. But I'm trying to think. Lex Diamond, Ghostface Killer, Raekwon. Ice Water Raekwon, Musketeers of Pig Alley, Master Killer and Inspector Deck.
No, I think I recall that being alright.
I mean, yeah, some of these songs here, Wild in the Club. Wild in the Club, WYLD, featuring somebody named Ultra.
And, you know, actually, I think I didn't exactly, I didn't mind the song. I like the beat.
It reminds me of that song off of Mobility, that like blatant club record that he tried to make.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think, was a pop shit? Yeah, it was pop shit.
I mean, but you have even like Once Upon a Time with Takitha, which wasn't a bad song. You have King of Kings with featuring Havoc, The Missing Watch.
Yeah, that was my song.
Clientele Kill actually wasn't all that bad too. I think Fat Joe he was pretty decent. And Smith Brothers, I don't know, I think Smith Brothers is maybe my favorite song of the album.
That Once Upon a Time, it kind of reminded me of damn, what's the joint off of Cuban Links? It kind of reminded me of him trying to remake or do a part 2 to the joint
Heaven to Hell.
of, you said what?
What Happened to Hell?
No, Rainy Days.
Oh.
Because it did have like some, you know, some type of rain sound in it from what I can remember. And it had, you know, Takitha on it singing, and it was all, you know, had that dreary type of sound. And then the other song, it's like he's always trying to recreate that song, because Have Mercy with Beanie Siegel off of Cuban Links 2 sounded like that as well.
I mean, it didn't have rain on it. I mean, that's the one that was talking about being in jail, right?
Yeah, that one didn't have rain on it, but it still gave me that vibe like he was trying to recreate that song again.
I mean, I think if anything, the Once Upon a Time, it kind of reminded me of the Second Coming of Wu-Tang Forever.
Yeah, that's right. It's Wu, motherfucker. That was a somber ass record.
Yeah, a lot of the earlier Wu-Tang songs were before they had a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like every time we do an episode, we tend to revert back to some Wu-Tang character.
Yeah, this is true, but I mean, that's what we, you know, listen to a lot. You know, what's crazy is, you know, Method Man, he recently just said that, basically, you know, he thanks Mary J. Blige for his whole solo career.
I feel like he says that a lot.
I mean, it's amazing what that remix to that song did for him.
I mean, yeah, like, and I think, like, the stories behind it, like, you know, I think RZA didn't want it, right? If I recall.
Maybe, or like maybe he didn't like how Diddy remixed it. And I always thought that the video had the Diddy version, but every time I see it, it has the RZA remix. But then I'm thinking maybe they just put different versions of the song out to the same video.
Oh, wait, so the remix that has Mary J. Blige in it, RZA didn't make that beat?
Nah, it's two different ones.
Okay, so the first one, the original one that's on Cal that has like the real drum beat, RZA made that one. That doesn't have it's just Method Man on it. But the second one has Mary J. Blige on it. RZA didn't make the beat.
It's two different ones.
Oh, so the classic with that one, the one that you always hear.
I mean, I think they play them both differently. Like, there's the one that has the sample in it, that don't. Then there's the one with the Biggie sample on it. When Mary is singing, lie together, cry together, I swear to God, I hope we fucking die together. Remember?
Yeah, vaguely.
And it had like some...
I realized that.
Hold on. So there's this version. I don't know if you can... Resume, this one.
Okay, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I'm not talking about that one.
Oh,
that's the whack one.
You talking about this one? This shiny is the we made a little bit more shiny.
Yeah, the shiny one.
Yeah, that one isn't
Oh, well, I don't recall that Biggie thing being on it though. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's on there.
Okay, because I was going to say that RZA at least won a Grammy off of this, you know, the whatever commercial shit you want to call this.
Yeah, I think he did. But see, I swear I heard other versions of it that were blends of the Diddy version and the RZA remix version. And then I think I heard a version one time that was Mary J. Blige, but on the original beat to the first All I Need.
Okay, because I think I've heard that too, actually.
Oh, Street Life was on this?
Oh, that's right, he was on it.
I guess maybe that was just him on the hook.
You know, Street Life, he's one of those people that you don't really talk about, but he seems like a very important figure within, you know, the Wu-Tang life.
I mean, he was all over Wu-Tang forever.
Yeah, and I mean, he was on pivotal songs, like the one where Master Killer just killed everything on with track 5, I think, on the first disc. As we return to the 36.
Oh yeah.
He killed that shit. But
I think he was on Hell's Win Stash too, wasn't he?
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, remember he came out with that album that was it had Method Man on it, but Method Man. I think it said Method Man introducing Street Life.
Yeah.
And it came out early. Yeah, I never listened to it.
I'm trying to remember what the single might have been from that. I feel like I did listen to it before. Let me see, Street Life. Is this him? I do. You know, this might not be the same Street Life. I do remember that being a Street Life from the UK or something like that.
No, of course.
Street Life. Man, what is Trife to God doing right now?
That's a very good question. I guess he's touring with Ghostface on his world tours or something. I don't know.
I guess did we talk about who are the best hype men in hip hop history?
Yeah. I think that's in the one episode in the can.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta go back and listen. We're gonna put that episode out I guess Sunday or Monday, and that's when we might have to break up into two because we've been on the phone for a minute.
Yeah, well, I was gonna ask you because it seems like the first part is about Baltimore and then we just totally not talk about it anymore.
Yeah. So I think the plan with this is we'll drop the Freddie Gray. I guess we can do this as a part 1, part 2, like how we did with episode 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have one talking about Freddie Gray, another hip hop part. I guess we're doing a 1-up thing and discussing podcast business on the podcast. So I'm trying to think of a. I guess part 1 to this has to come out tomorrow. So then I guess we're going to push, because if part 1 comes out, then part 2 has to come out. So maybe that comes out Sunday. And so I guess our original episode 5 maybe put out like Tuesday or Wednesday or something. Probably Tuesday, and then do another throwback Thursday on Thursday or something like that.
I mean, well, I was going to say that, maybe we should probably just push that one to Sunday. But, because I was going to say maybe people would get tired of us, but we don't really have many listeners. Anyway.
Push which one to Sunday?
The Young Thug is the New Prince.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking, so you thinking about, like, putting out both parts of this episode in one day? At once?
Oh, no. Like, so you said essentially the Young Thug episode, you're saying put out on Sunday.
No, I'm saying push that back to like Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, 'cause I'm thinking maybe like just putting that out like on the whole, like next week, the next Sunday.
Oh, putting that whole episode out the next Sunday.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because I don't know, because maybe it's a good thing that we just kind of like build content up. Although, see, like we're in a weird situation because we had an episode on Young Thug and it's kind of hot right now based on the Baltimore 6 that just came out. But then we had the Baltimore riots that happened that we got to talk about.
Yeah. But
then at the same time, it's like I think we should like always have like that one episode in the can that we're just talking about whatever we're talking about. You know, because just in case, like, let's say something happens, you know, I can't do it, or you can't do it, or, you know, you're traveling, I'm traveling, or whatever like that, and we just can't do it that one day.
Yeah, because, like, that's what a lot of podcasts do. They usually have, like, you know, something in the can, so I think that's a good idea. So, yeah, we can hold on to that, and then, I guess, put out the Freddie Gray joint tomorrow. I'm trying to get it out in the morning. It's getting kind of late now. I gotta get ready for another day. And then I guess maybe Sunday or Monday drop the part 2 to this, which is more hip hop based.
Cool.
And then we'll have one in the can, you know, record Sunday or Monday or something like that, how we usually do. And then, so we'll still have that one in the chamber. 36 Styles of Danger. Actually, at that point, we'll have 2 in the can.
I mean, well, you know, it's funny, you know, like thinking about these episodes, and this is the 6th episode, so this is like essentially what, like the 7th week if you count the other episode, maybe.
Yeah. Yep.
It's almost been 2 months. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and then you know, give ourselves a pat on the back for that. I guess, you know, we got to think about stepping the sound quality up at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out when it happens.
Yeah, I reckon so, and I guess various guests that are supposed to come on that certain people are kind of, you know, dragging their feet about.
Yeah, I mean, typical podcast things that happen, but
I mean, well, you know, I think I do agree that we do need to get some type of female element on here sooner or later.
Yeah, I think that'll work. I don't know, maybe she'll come around to be in the mood to do it another day.
I mean, well, it's that, or I have one. But
that'll work too.
Well, I don't think it's who you're thinking.
Oh.
Right now.
Well, we can talk that. I guess we should wrap this up and continue this off podcast. So, once again, thank you for listening. Channel10podcast.com. Check us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc., iTunes, Stitcher, all of that. Rest in peace to Freddie Gray. Fuck the police. Fuck the National Guard. Fuck the governor. Fuck the mayor. But shout out to the cop I talked to earlier. You know, I tried to get his thoughts and views on the police, and he was basically just like, he would love to say something, but he can't because he doesn't want to say anything stupid, and they're under strict orders not to, be speaking on things like that. But what he can say is that it's really crazy, and the city just needs time to heal, and he hopes that they get that. So I don't know if that was your real feeling. You seem kind of genuine, but it also seemed like a very media-trained type of statement. And if the Baltimore police knew what was good for them, they would use you as their spokesperson. Because he actually, kind of cool, Asian dude, non-threatening, very well-spoken, real clean-cut looking, not too big and imposing, and seems genuine. So, he's a cool cop, but fuck the rest of them. Do you have any closing remarks?
Well, I guess I'll just reiterate again that I just truly hope this whole ordeal isn't in vain, and I don't want anyone to misconstrue what I've said, especially in the beginning about the person that you spoke to in the ER, and whether he was just doing it just to do it or what. Because I do understand why people are rioting, but at the same time, it's just the organization is fucked up. So hopefully there's change that comes.
Hopefully, and I don't want to seem like I'm condoning it. I'm just saying I understand. And hopefully change comes. Hopefully we come to the